fucking Joy-Cons than my Switch. Aaron.
What up, what's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Wazen. This is the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 51. I am joined by the Switch Daddy, Drew Scheffler. How's it going?
It's going great.
Got that FCC jersey on there.
And an FCC
dude, your city, your beer. You know what I'm saying?
FCC koozie for my boozy.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Boozy Badass. The Milk Maiden, Cheyenne Clark.
Gross. Don't go back to that one.
I cycled them through like every.
You said Milkmaid the first time. Now you call her the Milk Maiden.
The Milk Maiden.
That's
That's
like
better.
That.
You're okay with that? And Mr. Dragon Energy himself, David Morgan.
I get that one.
Yeah, you get that
Thank
one?
you.
Jesus
Perfect.
Christ.
It's just not. It's cool.
We're not.
Video games. Those are fun. We don't have to think about that.
All right. Yep.
It's
So
all just marketing. Just
it is, but that's not cool. We
not
got
cool.
a whole show for you this week. We're talking about some news, talking about sales numbers and stuff like that. You know, the real nitty gritty of the fucking video game industry, man. We're getting down and dirty in the fucking news, man. But
Inside
first,
baseball.
we're talking about Valve. You've heard of this company. Valve Softworks, run by a man named Gabe Newell. Gabe Newell, I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Gabe Newell.
Gabe Newell. They decided to spend some of their money. I guess they got their uncle lent them some money for Hanukkah or something like that, and they got some money going on. They're buying Campo Santo. They developed Firewatch. You ever heard of this studio? Tamor Hussein. Valve has purchased Campo Santo, the critically acclaimed developer of Firewatch. In a blog post on the studio's website, Campo Santo said it will continue production on its current project in the Valley of Gods, but with the benefit of having the like-minded people of Valve working alongside them. In Valve, we found a group of folks who, to their core, feel the same way about work that we do. This, you may be surprised to learn, it doesn't happen every day. In us, they found a group with unique experiences, valuable and diverse perspectives. It quickly became an obvious match, they explained. It explained? It should be they explained. We had a series of long conversations with people at Valve, and everyone shared the satisfaction we take in working with people whose talents dwarf our own and make things we never thought possible. Both sides spoke about our values. It was like blocking the fucking screen. Both sides spoke about our values and how, when you get right down to it, we as human beings are hard limited by the time we have left. And what? Jesus Christ! I didn't read this before I fucking posted. That's dark as fuck. Both sides spoke about our values and how, when you get right down to it, we as human beings are hard limited by the time we have left.
Yeah,
What the
Jesus
fuck?
Christ.
Why?
They got a lot
You
deeper
got
than
bought
they
by
needed
a
to be on this
company.
one.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, they bought fucking Campo Santo. What do we think about that?
Yeah.
So when they say that it's rare for them to find people who think about work the same way they do, does that mean people who don't think about work because they just sit back and let Steam funnel millions of dollars into their business?
I think that's their sly little humor.
Is that the new philosophy? So Campo Santo is going to put hats in their game. I know that's a dead joke, but Valve does not. I guess this ties into Gabe saying earlier this year that Valve is going to start shipping games again. Hooray! That's an exact quote. So I think this is them trying to move towards getting talented developers in their team, and probably once Valley of the Gods comes out, they will have some of these core members shift over to Valve properties and probably start trying to push out another big core title. I would hope.
Which one do you think it'll be?
Well, Left 4 Dead 3.
Me too.
I mean, that's gotta be.
I think there would be that studio in particular would be much more. If I don't think they'll go this route, like how you're saying, but if they were, I think they'd be much more in line with a Portal type game, or maybe
Portal, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking, or maybe a new IP. I mean, anything. I think that their smartest move would be to put out a 3 game, and then focus on new IPs, because they've got Artifacts, and that's not a card game that nobody really cares about.
It's the greatest reveal of all time.
Yeah, that was the whole audience.
Yeah.
I don't know why Campo Santo. Maybe they had a meeting and it went really well, and then they talked to some execs.
It does
and
seem
they're
very
like, okay,
random.
Well, with the
does.
limited
Yeah.
time left in our lives, they just
They were like,
they're
fuck it,
meant
this
to be
has
together.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
It does. I agree. It does seem very weird. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Riveting.
Fair enough.
Well, I hope that this will mean that we. I hope this means we'll see some more first-person games from Valve. I mean, that's
It's just games.
that is my number one.
So, all right, I just the elephant, not the elephant in the room, but we all think this game is still coming out, right? No one is
Yes.
like
Yeah.
this game's not coming out now because
Valve has
in the Valley of the
no-
Gods.
yeah.
Oh yeah, but
no
the
reason
issue.
to.
Yeah, but the issue
cancel
is
that.
in the Valley of the Gods. Like, I don't know. I really enjoyed Firewatch. I mean, it had its flaws, but I really enjoyed Firewatch. I will probably really enjoy in the Valley of the Gods, but like the issue is like what they said the release date's 2019.
Yeah, they already said 2019.
Okay, so 2019. So unless you split that group up, if Valve were gonna have them work on anything, that's like a 2021, 2022 release. If it's anything like significant.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like, I mean, it's good to have like Campo Santo on your side, but like I don't really want to see them doing
Is
anything
it?
other than
'Cause, like,
what they got going on, because they do a really good job at storytelling, I think.
yeah, I don't know. I was so lukewarm on Firewatch that this when I heard this news, I was just like, okay. Like, it didn't really affect me either way, because even Valve, I can't remember the last time I played a new Valve game, and it was like, wow, that's
I didn't.
really pushing the
I wasn't
envelope.
like head over heels with Firewatch. The ending was kind of not that great in my opinion.
That's exactly
I said it had
why
its
I
flaws.
have-
I didn't
I
say
know
it was
you
bad.
That's
did.
like a fatal flaw
Jesus.
for me, though.
But like no, but like
just deflated.
I
the
think
whole
just
act.
generally that game was really cool, and the way it told its story through like the walkie-talkie stuff you never saw.
Yeah.
Did you pick up the turtle?
It's very Valve.
What's
if
her
you
what's
think
her,
about
what's
it.
her name?
Delilah?
Delilah.
Was it really Delilah?
Delilah.
Yeah.
That's such a
98,
fucking
dude.
hot topic name, dude.
98.
That's
But-
Manic Pixie
You
Dream.
can,
But-
you can
and-
blame the
and the-
plain white tees for that one.
The entire aesthetic for that game I thought was really pretty in the art and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it was pretty.
And I think that they did really cool stuff, and just generally that studio has been really cool, like with a lot of their like post-release, like kind of like things that get picked up in the blogosphere, where like they posted a video of like the what the camera like looks like when you're, because you don't ever see Henry, that's the guy's name in the game, and it was like this fucking deformed looking like malmutation of a man that like that they build the camera around to like try to like have everything.
no.
It's like really cool if you look it up.
That makes
But-
sense.
I bet
Yeah.
they bought them for the writers, though. Like,
Probably.
I guarantee.
The
Because
thing-
the writing was really good.
The thing I said last week, I just remembered it, is that there was rumors way back, not way back, it's not like 2 years ago, about them making a Firewatch movie, and which I don't know if that was ever confirmed or like what's
Those
going
never
on with
happen.
that.
Every time you hear a game movie's being made,
Uncharted
it never
movies never
happens.
happening, but
No.
but
Assassin's Creed happened.
it did.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, not that Valve's like making movies or anything, but like if they could just get a piece of that pie or something, I don't know. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, they really need that.
They really like that
Sony
money.
They really need money.
Sony Pictures.
Anyway, these are March's MPD numbers. These are the best-selling games of March. I'm doing it in reverse order.
Horse.
Reverse
We were
order.
talking in reverse order.
Reverse order. Starting at 20, UFC 3, then
Ew.
Splatoon. No, you don't like UFC.
I mean,
The
whatever.
fuck, really?
I'm just surprised it's on there.
No, I'm saying really it's on there. Not really. You don't
Hey
like
man,
it.
Joe Rogan has a fan base. He's got to appease them somehow. Splatoon 2, FIFA 18, Dragon Ball Fighters, Assassin's Creed Origins. This game came out this month. A Way Out finished number 15, which I think is like pretty solid for.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Monster Hunter World, 2K, Ni no Kuni came out last month, coming in number 8. Mario Kart 8, Call of Duty World War 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, Kirby Star Allies.
God fucking damn it! I was so anticipating GTA 5 not being on that list.
Being number 1.
I cannot fucking believe that game is still selling as much as it is.
Yeah, it's-
There has got to be a saturation point for that
Well,
game.
there just has
where-
to be a point where like everybody has it. You would think?
Has it? Is it just that like kids are they're becoming 14-year-olds and
I
they're just
mean,
like
yeah.
time for me to get GTA?
That
I
is it.
can. I'm sorry for the tangent. I just cannot fucking believe that game is still selling so well. Please continue.
It's Kirby Star Allies at number 4. That came out last month. MLB The Show 18. That came out in February, but I think it got counted for it didn't get counted in February. It got counted for last month. Sea of Thieves at number 2. And then
Wow.
Far Cry 5 at number 1, which isn't
Wow.
really a surprise. The big note here is that Far Cry 5 is the fastest and best-selling in franchise history.
Wow.
Cool. There's been a lot of those lately.
Yeah. A lot of records.
God of
being broken.
War.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves at number 2 though.
I think
do
Monster
not
Hunter,
understand.
Monster Hunter did that, but then we were like, bullshit.
Well, they lied,
Yeah.
but it might have been the best Monster Hunter. Sea of Thieves probably is. It's got to still be those.
No, this
trials.
is sales. This is like
I
money.
mean, the trials have got to be over by
Wow.
now, right? But that blows
those
my mind.
poor people.
Yeah.
Well, what are you
that-
fucking doing in the game?
Nothing. Like, I should go to the subreddit. And
To
see
be
what,
yeah,
the
to be
people
fair,
are doing.
like, we talked about it like last month or when this came out. I was like, I don't know, man. Sea of Thieves is popping. Every fucking website I go on has 30 fucking Sea of Thieves stories. There are no Sea of Thieves stories now. It is very rare that I come across.
There was
and
there was one I saw
Monster
this
Hunter's
week.
still there. Destiny's
Cold
even
Face
still there
Horror
to
just
the
came
sign.
out.
But yeah,
Yeah, I was just telling Aaron yesterday there was a thing Microsoft I guess is being sued for using lighting effects in like Sea of Thieves, Halo, and Gears.
really.
Really?
Yeah, some smaller companies said the lighting effects used in these 3 games are like trademarked or whatever lighting effects that they have.
It's interesting.
I mean, it probably won't go anywhere because
Jesus
rarely do.
Christ.
But-
What are you talking about, Drew?
This is like pure distilled Reddit. Like, I went to the Sea of Thieves Reddit, and it's like, you've played too
Update
much
from the-
Sea of Thieves
update
when you're
from the Sea of
driving.
Thieves Reddit.
When you're driving down the road in your car and you look up to see which way the wind is blowing,
I'm
and then
sure
there's
that
a
happened.
there's a
What?
winter is coming meme on the front page.
Hey,
Oh,
man, people are
God.
having fun with it.
Jesus,
I don't wanna
get.
shit on
Is it
them.
fun? Is it
I don't
real
want to
fun?
shit on them. They're having their enjoyment.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
glad
fine.
you're right. You're
It's
right.
just
I got
fun.
nothing
It's not
against
as bad.
communities.
When No Man's Sky came out, that Reddit was like very toxic and like
I still have that pasta in the Discord.
that
somewhere.
pasta is
Goddamn.
like fucking great.
timeless.
All right, cool. Microtransactions in Belgium is in the news. One of the biggest features of many recent games is harming children and should be banned, according to Belgian authorities. I don't like how that's written at all. I want that to be real clear. And the lead on
What?
that shit is fucking bad. It's
Well,
just it starts out
microtransactions are bad,
one
but I don't know
of
about
one of
that.
the biggest features of many recent games is harming children and should be banned, according to
my
according to
God.
Belgian authorities.
hope so.
Microtransactions, which are used to buy loot boxes that give players they give extra benefits to players, have become a constant part of many recent games, including the FIFA series, whose Ultimate Team is both. This is interesting that they're going the FIFA route when like Star Wars is the thing that set it off, but it makes sense.
FIFA is way more egregious though. and
It
it's been around a lot
100%
longer.
is. But
I didn't even know.
It's just
I
like-
honestly didn't know about that.
I
until
spend
went
a
to
good
Drew's.
$100 on FIFA every year.
Jesus.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Christ.
It's bad.
And I still can't beat CJ, so it's like not
A
even.
Nah,
man
you-
of,
we're,
like-
I would say we're about
I mean,
even now.
at this point now, yeah, I can beat you with my team, but like.
So
when
it's
you- when
literally
you
just
play-
pay to win. Literally just pay to win.
I mean, you could win with shittier teams.
I don't know. It
I mean,
is-
it obviously helps if you got a faster player that can.
Yeah,
like,
no,
put
it is
100%
very much.
on
And
target
there's like
shots,
this whole
but
like toxic like fucking back opening culture on YouTube with it. It's pretty gross.
nothing feels better than beating somebody that obviously has like a fucking.
That
like,
that is when it
bot
does
team.
feel good. When you have a shitty
Yeah.
team and you beat somebody with a good team, it's like you fucking piece of shit.
So
yeah, right.
So like I know FIFA's bigger in the Europe.
In
That's
the-
what I almost
Europe.
just said.
Europe.
Do you think that has a lot? Do you think this has a lot to do with that? Is that it's so much bigger? Because I mean, it's big in the U.S., but it's like people don't talk about it as much from the microtransaction standpoint because Star Wars is like a bigger IP here, and it's I don't know. Like I really don't know why since it's so obviously pay to win. But I guess besides the point, Belgium has essentially ruled in the favor of microtransactions. I guess as a whole being unethical and harmful to think of the children.
Yeah, basically, here's what the Belgian Minister of Justice, Cohen Geens, said in an interview. He said, mixing gambling and gaming, especially at a young age, is dangerous to the mental health of the child. Well, that's a very out of context quote. I said it wrong, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, but that's basically the oathing of the children kind of mentality. Is.
I never thought those people would be the ones to save video games. Now that's a hyperbole. I'm gonna go out and say it right there. That was a joke.
I understood.
I don't actually think that, but cool. I mean, I guess I don't know. I hesitate to say that it's good for big government to get involved in like regulating video game policy, but at the same time, it's been shown that public opinion can do a lot to sway big companies out of bad decisions, but maybe not enough because I bet next year we're just gonna see more of the same shit happening, and that'll be that, and it'll just be back to normal. Maybe this will leach over into like Hawaii's ongoing policy changes that they've been talking about, legislation that they're proposing to bring this into the light of national government here in the U.S. Cool. Yeah, I think gambling has no place in video games, and that is exactly what loot boxes are, especially when you can and you can trade the goods for real money in the case of something like a Rocket League or a Counter-Strike.
Or
that's no good.
Yeah.
Or what?
I was gonna say like a Rocket League maybe.
Yeah, I mean absolutely. It's like
Yeah, but my only issue with this article is, I mean, we talked about this how many months ago? Like, is it even possible for them to stop this from happening? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Yeah.
if you make, it's not. I don't know exactly how Belgium's like laws work, but in the U.S., if the government regulate, I think that it would fall under the.
Okay, well, let's say take for example. So this is the Belgian government, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So over in Europe, the biggest game usually is FIFA, like biggest sports game yearly, which has huge microtransactions. So if they were somehow able to bring like the stop to microtransactions in FIFA, like.
Well, what will happen now is they will stop selling FIFA in Belgium.
That actually might happen. They just be like, you know what, fuck Belgium.
That
We're
is
done.
exactly, and that's what people are saying with, well, if Hawaii makes loot boxes illegal, they'll just stop selling video games in Hawaii. It's easy. But the hope is, I guess, that there's a domino effect and this spreads to more legislations elsewhere, and then instead of publishers just selecting where they can make the most money, they have to step back and be like, okay, what's a wide sweeping change we can make to our monetization structure that will allow us to sell in all countries regardless of their microtransaction laws. So that's the hope.
Are they? Yeah,
Gotta
but are
start
they
somewhere.
specifically targeting like microtransactions where it's pay to win, or microtransactions overall? Because if they're trying to like,
sounded like the latter to me.
yeah, if they're trying to nix like microtransactions overall, I don't have a problem with microtransactions as long as it's not a pay to win. So like in Fortnite, you get cool skins like the Steel Rider or whatever is out right now, or
Well,
like the Rocket League and the Overwatch. But like if you're trying to stop big companies like that from putting games out and just giving you cosmetics to pay for, I mean, again, that's just,
I would argue
as
that
a
pay to
parent,
win
that's just
is-
regulating what your kid does. Like you have to pay attention. You can't just say, "Here's a PlayStation 4, fucking do whatever you want."
I mean, yeah, sure, but like you get like it's Counter-Strike isn't pay to win, and that has definitely the biggest gambling economy of any game.
I agree with that.
The skins
That's
and
true.
the sites that allow you to do third-party gambling are so easy to use, and even kids can just go in there, sell the skins that they get from drops. Maybe, like I for example, never spent I spent $1 on Counter-Strike. I got one key, opened up a crate that had an $80 skin inside of it, right? So now I'm sitting on $80. You're a kid. You're sitting on $80 that you got $1 from mom. Now you've got $80 in your account. It's real money. It's stuff you can use on Steam. You can send it through PayPal and get that money back. But your parents didn't have any say in it. But that's still money that you now have. So even if it's cosmetic, and even if it's
like the hustle in the
But that's
streets,
like
man,
the
there ain't nothing wrong with
opposite
that.
of
Kids gotta
what
make
we-
money. Mom only
Okay.
paying him $0.25 per dog shit. Like the kids gotta make money somehow.
all I'm saying is it's a little more complicated than just don't let your kid use
Well,
a
I mean,
credit card. Because even if I give a kid $2, that could turn into $1,000 in one lucky drop, and then we have real
good
money.
for this
to
kid.
think
He should
about.
play the fucking like Powerball then. You know what I'm saying? There has to be the government can regulate, but there has to be a regulation in home too. So like the parents can't keep just sitting here and blaming fucking
I
all the
agree.
games for it.
I don't
And
think that's
know
what
you-
anybody's doing either. It's
Well,
not. It's
but-
not even the
But
parents
the
that
way
are really
that
coming out.
this is like this article is written is saying that like they're trying to stop
The kids.
the kids and the gambling that the kids are participating in, but like so many games are doing it now. That's just becoming
Well, because
a trend.
that's just how you get legislation through. Like that's just the language of trying to push a law. Like if
Yeah, and I'm not a
'cause
big
this
fan of
applies for
politics, so
this-
yeah, I understand.
well, no, I'm not like an expert. I
know.
that's my understanding of the language they use is to generate sympathy from the government and try to get this through. But it's equally as bad for adults. I mean, people with gambling addictions can fall into these traps. They become whales and they spend hundreds of dollars.
Sorry about that.
better
Well,
keep
we were
that
talking
in.
about microtransactions. I think microtransactions are gambling at all fronts. I think it is a front to the tradition of video games, the storied history of art in our country. I think it is. No, I'm just fucking with you. It is really gross. I think there should be some self-regulation. I think if your game has loot boxes in it, it should be rated M because it has gambling
Yeah.
elements.
Yeah.
But again,
No, then it would have to be
this-
21.
But even
That'd have to be
even,
AO.
even if it were AO, it wouldn't matter because parents honestly,
At that
don't give a
point,
fuck.
I agree with you. But
Hands
when,
off at that point.
when
It's
that,
like-
Don't
but
give a
like
fuck.
when you
Until it
put a
actually
game,
hurts them, they don't care.
I mean, it does
Like,
hurt
until
them.
a kid accidentally
Steals their credit card?
uses my credit card,
Yeah.
or accidentally uses my debit card. I don't give a fuck about what my kid plays, or what this game is doing to him. If they're claiming like gambling addiction, they don't care until it actually affects them.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you there. I'm saying, what am I saying? I was talking about gambling, something else.
Dude, Drew's a dad now. He's not taking any more of this think of the
Oh,
children and
but like
bullshit.
when you put a game out there like Overwatch, and Overwatch, as we all have said a million times, has the best loot boxes, like the best.
Yeah,
I've
I like
soured on it
Overwatch.
quite a bit, but like
Yeah.
like Overwatch, if you look at it, that game it's not like explicitly for kids, but like that game has like nice like cute character models. It is
Yeah.
like not.
like I reached for your chest when you said nice character models.
And fucking Rocket
This
League has
Freudian
cars.
slip.
Well,
What young boy or girl doesn't play with
Yeah.
fucking Hot Wheels? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
that's what I'm
fucking
saying.
power
Like
car.
when it
Yeah.
comes to these games that aren't like Call of Duty, it's like at in one point of view, it's like yeah, all kids are playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. But on another point of view,
let me
like
ask you this:
yeah.
what is the age that
Drew
they
is
stop
fucking
being a
hot
kid?
right now.
What's the age that they stop being a kid? What's the age?
I mean, there's not an age. That's like
There's not an
it's
age.
totally
but
subjective.
But let's say what's the age? Just
I don't know. Usually people say
legally
18.
18.
or 13, because then you're a teenager, right? And you can play teen-rated games, right?
Sure.
Sure.
That logic does check out. I'll be honest with you.
That checks out. Okay, so kids, if we're focusing on kids, that's 12 and under. What the fuck is your kid doing playing Counter-Strike?
I mean,
The fuck
did
is
you
kidding
watch
me?
the
I
whole
was
game?
playing
that has any kind of gambling in it.
It happens.
Dude, I was playing Doom at like 10. That's like
I
a
mean,
bad
especially
argument.
I
because-
understand. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but you have to regulate your fucking kids.
Well, a
You
lot
have
of
to watch
times
what your kids
parents don't know anything about computers or
Well, then
video
Well,
game
I mean, that's
consoles.
their
I
fault for
don't know.
being.
You should, if your kid's
uninformed.
into it, then as a good parent, you should know what your kid's into, and you should be
Sure,
like participating in what they're
I
doing.
agree, but
There
here's what
are
I'm-
different circumstances for different.
I know that my upbringing was a lot different than a lot of kids, like especially like you guys and stuff. I didn't play an M-rated game until I bought my own 360, and I played Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty Modern Warfare for the first time. I grew up on Nintendo, specifically only anything E10 and under. That's all I played.
Drew's fucking
Yeah,
hot
I-
about
Dude,
this
he's got a
topic. This is fucking
backstory.
awesome.
It's an
I
origin
know,
story
like,
for
and,
Drew.
and like I don't think that
This is
makes
awesome.
me like not know anything. Like I obviously went back, like I studied some of the stuff that like came out when I wasn't able to
Yeah,
play
tell me
that.
about
but,
it,
like,
dude.
but my parents cared about like what I played, and not saying like because you could play the M-rated games or whatever that they didn't care. But like if you let your kid play GTA, you got to know what they're doing in GTA. You know what I'm saying? Like if your kid's just going in there and they're just fucking like buying shit online or like just fucking the strippers all the time, then like maybe you'd be like, I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe my kid's got a problem. But if your kid's just driving around,
Nothing wrong with exploring.
Here's
sex
what-
work.
I'm gonna fall back on my
I
argument
don't
that
want to slut shame anybody.
nothing can turn into something very quickly in games with gambling mechanics, even if you haven't put in much monetary value at all. And I really think that these laws shouldn't only be serving children and their parents. I think this is a problem with consumers at large. Like, you can't know your own weaknesses until you're faced with them, and it's hard for people to know whether they have addictive personalities to gambling, and they might really like video games, and then that's a gateway for them to get into it, and that becomes a huge problem in their life. Like, I think that hanging up on children in these arguments is like, it's like not
Reductive.
really. Yeah, because it just assumes that like all parents are idiots and that kids have infinite access to credit cards, and that's not true. What's much more reasonable to me is that an adult, such as myself, might, I don't have a gambling problem, but if I did and I was in
You
Rocket
get that
League, I was
first
like, I
hit
gotta
when
have-
you're fucking trying
Yeah,
to
you
get
get
the
that-
dominus, you know what I'm saying? And then
yeah,
you
you get
can't
the black
stop.
market decal, and you're like, fuck, I gotta keep going. You get the fallacies, and then it just piles up. And these laws
to be fair,
are.
there was a moment you were deep in that fucking Rocket League black market.
Well, no, I
There
was
a
very
moment
smart
you were
about
real
it,
into
Dude,
it.
David was wheeling and dealing, that's a fun.
He's like,
he was
he's like,
fucking.
I got a pair of wheels, man. I get fucking keys.
I
for that.
liked
That
it. I
translates
love
into
cosmetics in
cash.
games. Absolutely.
He's
I'm
like,
very
I'd
weak
flip
to
the
it.
fucking Halo for a house, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was trading up and stuff, and I think that's a smart way to do it, but not everybody has the patience or time for that, so, like, that's not an option.
You were
for
like that
everybody, and I
TLC
understand
show where the guy like fucking sells like a bugle and then he gets a fucking mansion like 2 episodes later.
say
you
a
know?
that. Oh,
Bugle?
yeah.
Like a fucking
What is that
porn
show
chip?
called?
No, like an actual bugle.
He, like, he does trade-ups until he, like, he starts with, like, a paperclip, and he ends up with, like, a fucking...
He's flipping Frito Lays for fucking housing. Get the fuck out of here.
I would put them on my fingers like I'm a witch.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
everybody
that's-
does
that's-
that. That's how you have to eat them.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I
Anyway.
think this is good, and I think that this might bleed over into other countries soon. I hope, and I hope that publishers have the foresight to start nipping this in the bud before it becomes a real thing here in the U.S. or elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting
Cool.
to say the least. This next story is about Detroit Become Human and the developer Quantic Dream, which is suing French journalists who came out with a report from them last month. So what is this, where's the story coming from, David or Cheyenne or somebody that Aaron's not
He
here?
doesn't open the story,
I don't have it
so
open. I'm sorry.
Drew, where's the story coming from?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't
It's from
even-
Kotaku.
It's Kotaku.
Jason Schreier, our guy.
Oh, I
Our
can
guy.
see that. Yeah,
Our
I
guy,
knew
Jason
that.
Schreier, Kotaku.
Our
Alright, cool.
guy.
I knew that. I was gonna just let this go as long as
No,
as
it's
long
fun.
as
I'm gonna press
Last
pause.
week-
I'm not giving it to you.
Quantic Dream founder and CEO David Cage flew to New York City to show demos of his dramatic new PS4 game Detroit Become Human to press. In his home city of Paris, meanwhile, a different type of drama was unfolding. This is fucking suspense. This article
Bum,
he's
bum, bum.
writing
He's
for us
getting
right now. He's painting a picture.
He's got the spice.
French journalists were defending themselves against Cage's legal charges. Quantic Dream has sued the French newspaper Le Monde and the website what? Oh, I think that's how you
Is it
pronounce it.
lemon?
And the website Mediapart for its reports on the studio's working conditions, Kotaku has learned. As far as we can tell, the first incident of Drew crunching a bag of chips. As far as we can tell, this is the first incident of a video game studio taking legal action against the press for negative reporting. Cage and CEO go for that one, David. How do you pronounce that? Or how do you, yeah.
he
man.
doesn't. He
I've closed
opened
it. I
the
got it,
story
I got it.
to tell you who wrote it and
And then
closed
closed
it
it?
immediately.
Damn.
I'll let me look.
I can't
for
wait
it.
until I can sit at my own space and have the
Okay.
friggin' stories open. Guillaume.
Guillaume
de
My
de
apologies.
Fondemier.
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 You just gotta lop off
A bunch of
the-
vowels.
GDF
Throw them out.
has threatened litigation in January when the reports hit, but some observers assumed that was just posturing. It wasn't, as both Cage and the media outlets have
High
confirmed to Kotaku. So basically, David Cage and Quantic Dream are suing the French journalist that said that they had a toxic workplace.
Can you do that?
In America, no.
You're a journalism major.
In America,
You-
that would not. I mean, Hulk
Isn't
Hogan,
that
Hulk
slander?
Hogan took down Gawker, but like, that's some bullshit. But
Is it though?
uh,
Didn't they have a private thing and then he was like, get rid of that, and they were like, no, and then he's like, all right. I'm
yeah,
gonna
he's
sue
a
They
you.
public
had to-
figure.
they had-
He doesn't get privacy. He fucked
Do
up.
they have his porn video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they showed him fucking his friend's wife. But that's not actually why he got mad. He didn't really care about that, to be totally honest. That's the headline of the story. What he got mad
I
about is
thought
that
it
they
was
reported
awesome.
a bunch of videos where he was saying the N-word and being really racist. And he was like, take those down. And
Smoke screen.
I mean, was he?
yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, then is your
The argument
fucking-
was that he's a private. He was at, like in a home and it's a private figure. Number one, why are you filming yourself fucking somebody if you don't like want to? Like, I understand why people like make sex tapes and stuff like that.
That's like saying, why'd you take
Yeah.
nudes if you don't want everybody to see it?
That's not what I'm saying. But like, if you're a private figure,
I guess if you're like a really
A
well known
celebrity?
person.
if you're a
With,
celebrity and it's not, he didn't take the video. His friend took the video of him fucking his wife.
On purpose?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was
I
into
did
it?
not know the
Dude, there's some
details
like
of this
weird shit
story.
about this.
Oh man.
If you look in that, there's also like after he's done fucking his wife, he then calls his daughter on his phone, and I kid you not, she doesn't answer. Then she calls back, and his ringtone is his daughter's song. It's fucking
I do not
incredible
like
if
that.
you look into
I-
this.
I do not like
Do
that.
not want to look into
If you
it.
look into
I
this,
don't want to look into it.
Anyways,
and then the whole
moving
reason
on.
it got taken down was because Peter Thiel, who is like a billionaire, like fucking sociopath who like drinks the blood of the innocent. Like that's not, he infuses young people's blood
Young
to try
people's blood into
to
it.
try to stay healthy.
That doesn't work like
Well,
that.
He bankrolled the whole thing because back in the day, Gawker wrote a story about him being gay.
Hmm.
That is
Okay.
that is
What
the
a
Okay,
fucked
so-
up.
history,
So
and
back
it's
to
like
this thing
it's
about-
a
we got
detriment
to
to the free
here.
press in America.
So
The-
back to this thing about Quantic Dream.
Yeah.
Suing
Yeah.
French journalists.
What about?
I don't know what's the slander laws. Is it libel or slander? Slander, right?
No, slander is speech, so that would be libel.
This is libel.
Yeah.
I don't know what libel laws are like in France. But if they got these from sources, which I assume they did,
If you
want
want to, all right, so you didn't read the whole story. The way it worked is
course he did.
Jason Schreier was going to promote his book over in France, which I guess is getting a
Yeah.
French release.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be interviewed by the Le Mans journalist who was a part of this website, and he's like, hey, he got to cancel. He's hung up in court. He's like, oh, why is he in court? He's like, it's about the Quantic Dream thing. And he's like, yeah, he did confirm that to him. And then, so the day after that, Quantic Dream was in New York giving press previews. And the Kotaku journalist there asked David Cage, hey, I heard you guys are suing that company. What's going on with that? And the Sony PR guy was like, nah, we can't talk about it. And David Cage, as he was walking out of the room, was like, yeah, we're suing them.
Yeah.
If you go,
fucking.
So it's just
I
like a bunch of
fucking hate
hodgepodge, like,
David
kind of thrown
Cage.
together, and we figured out the story. But,
yeah.
I mean, he said that they want to check to see if they if this can hold up if they talk to all the sources. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm asking if the original stories from the workplace toxicity had they did have sources. 'cause
yeah,
they had
of course.
Yeah,
quotes.
but
You can't-
they had sources, but it was like it would have said the article said it was like three
Unnamed.
sites worked together.
Oh, yeah.
That's
These
pretty
stories at the same
robust.
time, right? So
Yeah, you can't sue people for that. That's your.
I don't know how it
that's
is in
your-
France, to be fair.
I
don't
I would
even-
hope you can in France, but maybe you can.
I don't.
There's also a
I
part
don't
of French
know.
law that I was hearing about that you have to give if you're like they're making an article about Quantic Dream, you should reach out to Quantic. I don't know exactly how codified in law it is, but you have to reach out to them for comment or some reaction to the story, and they did do that in their story. So that
You don't, that's just when you plug Quantic Dream has not responded for comment.
Yeah.
Like in the,
well, they actually did give a
everybody-
response. That was his response, where he was like, Ellen Page, I love gay people. Jesse Williams, I
Yeah,
love gay
right.
people. That was his
Or
response.
the-
I've worked
It's
with
like
a
such
gay
and such.
woman and a black man, so I can't be
Wow.
racist or
both
sexist.
do a lot of things. In the
or
US.
homophobic.
Which in the article, which company or which journalism group said that they sent threats or something like that?
Sent threats.
Quantic Dream did?
I didn't see. I didn't see
Scroll
anything
down
about
towards the bottom of the article. I can't pull it up right now, so you just have to bear with me if you.
it. I'll believe you. I'll take your word for it. Just keep going though.
No. I mean, but if you have to send a letter to them saying, "Hey, well, we'll sue you if you post push this article out," why would someone unless if they came to you and asked, "Is this true?" or care to comment on the workplace environment, and if you didn't tell them straight up then or whatever, why would you try and come after them? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's almost as a way to try and protect
The
yourself.
threatening letters were about the lawsuits, though.
Right, so you're
When they were
saying,
threatening
hey, you
to-
put this out there, but if they talked to Quantic Dream, why would you be hey, these lawsuits are going to come after you, even though, clearly they said that they talked to them?
I don't know why. I think the easy answer is Quantic Dream and Sony are. There's also a thing if you look into it of the Sony PR team. It was Quantic Dream's response to the harassment allegations, and Naughty Dog's response when that all blew up last year with the whole Me Too stuff.
Yeah.
And they're literally copy pasted from one another. They say the exact same thing, but with
Thanks, Sony.
But Sony is a big company and Quantic Dream is a big company, and therefore they have the money to probably tie up a smaller newspaper or something like that in court, which is what happened to Gawker, and that's how just people with money can exploit the legal system and stuff like that. If you want to know my honest opinion, what's probably going to happen.
Well,
do you think
Not looking good for them. though. This doesn't make them look good.
for sure no. Do you think this I don't know. I was hoping, I wasn't hoping, but I was wondering if any of you guys thought oh, they're taking it this far. They must not have done anything. Maybe they're innocent or something like that.
Honestly, it makes me think that they look less guilty, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm just
don't-
curious. It doesn't have to be. But.
Them coming out and just immediately being no, that's not true. That was bold. That wasn't a
Especially when
pre-scripted PR
their
statement
game is
from
about to come
Sony's HR department, and then this is maybe this is all bullshit. I'd like to think so, because I don't want to hear about any game
course.
developers studio being a toxic workplace, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. Definitely, not something that a guilty person would do is take it to court on their own account. Unless they really think that Sony's lawyers and shit can just dig them out and be we'll just exploit French law and we'll get $1 million settlement. Like, I don't know.
It's not even the settlement. It's that they want a retraction, like from the.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't know enough about law or journalism.
I know you're familiar with bird law.
I feel like
No. Not.
if I've learned
That
anything,
fucking got Drew right there.
if I've learned anything in the past like year,
I'm not a learned man, but I'm
I'm not a learned man, but if I were to learn, I tell you what.
just Drew. Come on.
My bad.
Killing me.
So with all the Me Too movement, right? Like Kevin Spacey and like the other actors,
Harvey
and all this stuff,
Weinstein and
right, but like so
Aziz
I bring up
Ansari.
an example of where like
and Woody
Kevin
Allen.
Spacey was, where Kevin Spacey was,
I'm
was
doing a
accused
bit.
of this. I realize
There's so many
fucking
fucking
disgusting
shut the fuck
people.
up now. Okay, I'm gonna finish what I was saying.
Yeah.
Where he tried to like deflect kind of and be like, oh well, I'm gay. It was kind of like trying to take
Are you
away
comparing
from, like,
Kevin
the main...
Spacey deflecting by saying
but
he's
hang on a
gay?
second, hang on a second. So like everything that David Cage, right, has done at Quantic Dream and like what they're saying has happened in this company. He's trying to be like, well, here's a lawsuit and we're gonna push on it really fast and try and get it done. And I really hope it's not the case, but I feel like it is because that's been the case with like everyone I've liked, which maybe that just says something about me. Maybe I have shitty taste of people because like Aziz.
No, I mean it's happening
and
to
everything.
everybody.
I'm
every
like,
day.
I'm sorry,
It's
but like
Nah, dude. Everybody that
hope
I
it's not
really
because
like and
played this.
respect.
I just
Scot
want to come out
free.
and say this right now because we're not going to talk about it later. I played I played the Detroit Become Human demo.
Yeah.
I liked it, man. I'm sorry.
You liked it? That's fine.
Yeah. What
Like,
scenario
wow.
was it?
It was the scenario where you got to get the girl off the rooftop. And
Okay.
You gotta, like,
That's with the
explore
cop?
and, like figure out about what Daniel the android, like what he was in part of that family.
That's the one with the
I
cop
didn't
guy.
Dan the and.
Yeah, I did
Okay.
it twice, and I didn't die. Well, I died once, and I didn't die the second time. So I
You
felt
can
pretty good.
die?
I liked it. I liked it. Yeah,
Okay.
you could die. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. I mean, I guess I did.
So I hope it's not true, but it probably is.
All right,
That's what I'm getting at.
Interesting.
Sorry.
Interesting.
There's more people than David Cage working at that company, so
There
if you
is.
enjoy the game, you
I know,
are
but he's
absolutely...
the one out here making the statements and saying stupid shit like,
Well,
I
let
work
him-
with Ellen Page.
There's a whole
so,
dude.
you know.
If you want to go into it, there's like apparently he
I
like
don't.
made like what's lower than employees, not senior employees. What's the opposite of that?
Temps.
No, Jesus.
Interns?
No, just like people lower than him at the company, like referred to him as like
Seasonal?
he made them call him like the sun god and stuff like that. It's really fucking
Yeah, I
weird.
remember that.
It's
Okay.
really weird if you look into it.
Interesting.
Good enough. Speaking of Sun God,
I don't know what's that. Where's that transition going?
I don't know.
All right.
Tomb Raider is a sun
Tomb
god.
Raider.
Tomb
Fuck
Raider,
is it?
yeah, David. What's going on with Tomb Raider, man? They got a big
All right,
reveal.
well,
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
I had a hot take today, and it turned into a whole fucking thing because it always does. Because I like that; it's fun. So I found a post on Twitter.
All right, hold on.
from
Let's
the-
just start baseline. Shadow of the Tomb Raider had
Shadow
a
of the
big
Tomb Raider-
preview reveal
Yes,
where
and gameplay events
yeah,
and like a press demos
yeah,
and things.
stuff like
so
that.
that's been talked about this
Cool.
week.
One of the
I
things
have
that
not
came out
watched
of
it.
that was
Time.
Oh, my bad.
He
Continue.
won't open
One
the
of the-
stories because he's writing the timestamps, but then he forgets to write the timestamps.
one of the things
That's
that
a big
Jesus
problem.
Christ. One of the things that came out of that was some of the pre-order content for the
Editions.
game,
Yeah.
which you took issue with.
So this morning I'm on Twitter and I found a post from the Tomb Raider PR team or whatever, and it was essentially like a I don't know what the mythology of the new Tomb Raider is, but it's like an
Mayan.
ancient Mayan circle thing. And so essentially what it is it's got all the additions around the circle. And then on the outer rim of the circle it shows you what you get for each edition, and it's like pre-order to get early access to the game, and then this edition is like $200, and this one's got the season pass, and this one's got all of the above, and it's like it reminds me of those like when you go to buy like TurboTax or some shit, and it's like the deluxe edition comes with all these checkboxes, and the standard edition only comes with these 2 checkboxes, and you got to pick between these 4 versions, and it's like this is not a new thing, as we've discussed. Obviously, like there's always editions with games. I mean, I think fighting games are the worst with it. Like Mortal Kombat had like fucking 10.
I don't know. Really,
Goddamn
Ubisoft
editions.
games are the worst of it, where it's just like every game they publish has like 19 editions, like the gold edition, and then the Walmart exclusive skin, and the GameStop exclusive
Yes,
skin,
and like
stuff
Best
that.
Buy and GameSpot, yeah, all those exclusive pre-order shits, and it's like, I got heated about it because it just like that image for some reason really spoke to me as like kind of solidifying all in one place all of the issues I have with all of this stuff, because it's just like you're pre-ordering at a higher price to play the game early, which in my mind is like the opposite of just going to GameStop like 2 weeks later and getting it used to play it later for cheaper. So it's like that's extra money to play it early, and that's like probably before reviews go up. So like I'm against pre-ordering games usually on principle, because you shouldn't pre-order something that you don't know the quality of. Like you can't gauge it on your own. And I know everything's subjective, and you should experience if you want to make your own opinions on things, but you should at least have an idea of what you're getting into. This kind of just, I mean, marketing and monetization and things just, and it's obviously to get people to buy it, because this, we talked about it, the series hasn't sold that well. It's like not a grand slam hit. It's not like Uncharted. So they probably can use all of the pushes that they can get to make their money back. But to me, it's just like, it's really anti-consumer to have such a convoluted, and I mean to us it's not convoluted because we've been around this so much, it's just like normal. It's like, okay, well this one comes with the season pass, that gets you this much content down this amount of time. But to somebody who's like buying the game for the first time and they might not understand all this stuff, it's just like overwhelming how many options you have and the price differences and like all the different bonuses you get from pre-ordering here or spending this much more money. And it's just like you get these stat boost packs for getting any of them pre-ordered, and it's just like so convoluted that it stinks. And I understand why it's done, because publishers and developers want to make the best product they can and sell it to as many people as they can and get the most profit, because that's what a business does, and that's whatever. But I think they'd have better luck if they would just streamline it a little bit or something. Like, I especially take issue with the pay more earlier to play it ahead of release. If the game is ready, fucking just put it out.
That's
or don't.
That's what I had a problem with. Like, you pay more to play it early, but if it's already done, like, why are you delaying it for people that aren't paying you more? Like, I don't know. I didn't like that aspect of it.
I don't see it so much of as a delay as like I paid more, so I get it early. Like, and that's
I don't agree with this. I don't usually agree with this, but I think that when I was thinking about it earlier when we first had the conversation, I was thinking about
for podcast listeners that aren't in our text thread. This was the talk of the text thread today.
It was the talk of the text thread today, but
I came in hot.
What I'm saying
and it just
is,
kept going.
I don't think that Tomb Raider has met the sales expectations, and personally, I think the Tomb Raider games deserve more praise and more sales. I think that it is a good series. My only thought with it being like the pre-order for the more, like paying more, you get the pre-order and you get the access to the game early, is that like word of mouth does sell games. Like if CJ says that a game is good, I'm more inclined to check it out. If you say a game is,
and I'm
good,
the arbiter of
as long as it's not PC games, I'm a little more hesitant to check those out. But like if y'all said a game is good, I'm more inclined to check them out. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that maybe this could help with the word of mouth sales.
Well,
but like
by saying that people who played early will talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's the case. And like again, too, like you said, like we'll wait for reviews. Not everybody does base like their purchases off reviews.
No, and they shouldn't. And that's.
I think like hearing what your friends have to say about it means more too, because they kind of know what you like and everything.
Well, my rebuttal to that would be that demos go a long way for word of mouth, and I would argue that demos are probably more effective because everybody
can
try.
Demos are dying art, man.
No, Detroit had a demo, and then we talked about it, and it's good apparently. So that's
what. It is a shame. I know. I'm saying that's bad. Like on the 360, every game had a demo. It was like and now like I think like betas, like beta access after you pre-order has like kind of replaced that.
Those are demos.
But like it's kind of
honestly, I
don't know. Like everyone, like Overwatch had an open beta, and like
that was
the one that reminds me.
We all really liked it.
The most of it is like I remember the buzz for the first Destiny wasn't that high, and then they put this alpha out. And like people lost their fucking minds, and like that game, like and Destiny, like is a thing. But when it comes to this pre-order stuff, I don't like it. But at the same time, I would rather like I have a much bigger problem with the microtransactions in games, and I have a much bigger problem with like other ways publishers are like taking or like getting money out of people than like at least like you don't know the quality of the game, but like when you're pre-ordering something, you know what you're buying. Like I'm buying the game. Like, the game might be good or bad or not, I don't know about that. But, like, at the same time, like, I am going to get a product. Whereas if you buy a loot box, you don't know what you're getting. Or, like, some of these other, like...
Sure, yeah.
I don't know, that's what, like, my kind of takeaway
so that tempers your feelings about this,
which I mean, that's, like, the publishers, you could say, are, like, moving the Overton window to where, like, just, like, fucking... Like, if you do enough shitty shit... then like just the normal shit becomes acceptable.
So but, that's what scares me, right? Is because like we had this conversation and essentially your take was partially that this has happened before, so like why are we talking about it now? And mostly it's just that this infographic really bothered me. I don't know why, just the way that they presented it was just a clusterfuck of like additions and bonuses. But also like I think we should always hound on this, and just because I haven't in the past, it probably was because Gears of War did it. I didn't play that game. NBA did it. I've never been into sports games. The only game
I disagree, David. You're a big Timberwolves fan, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's right.
You're very excited. Carl Anthony Towns out there, dude. David's got his jersey.
What is that? It's the draft.
He's got that's the NFL draft. Jesus Christ.
No, close enough. Well, I don't fucking watch sports ball. All right, that's reductive.
Started, right?
Sports are fine. But. Yeah, it's mostly because games I have played haven't done this kind of thing, and if they had, you know what, I probably would have fucking bought it, and that's the shitty thing, because like I really do buy into hype and zeitgeist, and I absolutely want to play things when they come out. It would have got me, and that is kind of why it burns, the most, is because like I understand that hype culture is a really dangerous thing. It's not dangerous, but it's like a very compelling thing to be a part of because it's fun. Mm-hmm. And then when you buy into hype culture and then you see a pre-order edition come out that you can play early, it's like, fuck, why wouldn't I? Like, I'm really excited to play this game. I can't wait another day. Yeah. And so it's just like kind of a manipulative cycle of like the huge marketing tact and then like these editions that you can play early. It's just those combined kind of rub me the wrong way. And I agree that like microtransactions and loot boxes are much more insidious and should be treated more harshly. But this also just...
Yeah, my I don't want to like say Drew. You want to cut in? Is that what you're trying to do? Are you just being the guy in the background of fucking Thor Ragnarok, where he's going like this?
No. I know you've been holding your tongue for a second, so go ahead. But I did have something to say.
I got my biggest like critique of and like I don't know. It's just I think the better way to go about this in a certain degree is when you celebrate the games that do things like right, like CD Projekt Red games, for example.
Yeah,
and like
when
you see the overall praise that stuff gets. I don't know, and part of it is, like, just, like, fatigue of, like, I hate talking about negative shit all the time, which, like, I mean, not everybody falls into that thing, but I don't know, like, when it comes to, like, I have to fucking deal with fucking loot boxes being shitty, and Detroit developer fucking being a toxic
our political climate,
and then, and I gotta talk about
code word for the Trump presidency.
War's over.
Oh, God.
No, it might not. It's just
anyway,
but I gotta deal with that, and then like fucking like it's just you come at me with the hottest take, like the fucking pre-order strategy for this game is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm just like, all right, man, I can't.
It's just
I don't know. That's just
I get excited. I will temper my text in the group chat and try to have more civil and neutral discussions about things. To sprinkle, well, Drew, did you have something to say? I don't want to
sprinkle.
I just think that like again. I've said this, I don't agree with necessarily the early access to the pre-order, but, like, I don't see the people pre-ordering these editions being anybody that's not already hooked on the series, and people that are going to be buying these editions already. So, like, it's just an incentive, not an incentive, but, like, it's just kind of a nice bonus for somebody that was already going to be paying $200 for the cropped edition. Like, it's not like somebody that's never played the Tomb Raider series, like this newer one, is gonna be like, "Whoa, shit! That
first entry, I'm buying the $200 statue.
I'm gonna buy that flashlight and that fucking pickaxe." Like those people aren't out there doing it. It's the diehard Tomb Raider fans that are out there.
Yeah, I swear to God.
Dead ass.
Added bonus for like the people that are already gonna be paying that money. So like you're already a diehard fan, so why not play it early? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not gonna convince me to go out there. Like I'm not saying I'm not a diehard fan, but I'm also not like.
I don't buy collector's editions.
I like the Tomb Raider game, but I'm gonna get the Octopath Traveler collector's edition.
Oh, dude,
I'm, like, very excited about that.
So fucking hyped.
Does it have the tentacle flashlight?
I need to play the demo. I haven't played the demo, but I'm hyped as fuck.
I said the Octopath
flashlight.
Does it have the tentacle flashlight? This one has. Anyway,
but
is it like the?
You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that this this early access isn't geared for people that are jumping into the series. It's for the people that have been dedicated to the series and really do enjoy it. So not only is the word of mouth sales going to hopefully increase the sales for a game that deserves it, but like these people are going to get access early because they want to play it now. And yeah, it is finished.
To be
want to play it now.
Maybe it'll go like that guy that played No Man's Sky before everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Remember that guy? He paid like $10,000 to get it like a week early or something.
No.
Like that.
I remember. Yeah. I wasn't too keen on these stories.
Never. Yeah, he got somebody to like make it fall off a truck for him or something. It was like a whole fucking thing, and then he was like, it was real weird. Yeah, but that's it for the news this week. I thought that was good. It only took us an hour to get to the news. We're moving quick. Now we're gonna move on to my favorite segment that we do on the show, which is Other Listeners' Mail. This is the segment in which we take questions from listeners, not of our podcast, but of other podcasts out there, and just co-opt them for our podcast and our own entertainment and amusement. So this comes from Kind of Funny Games Daily.
You've been checking the YouTube comments to make make sure we haven't gotten any.
I haven't,
questions.
But like probably.
What if we have comments?
What if there's
we have,
like
10 questions?
I don't even look at the YouTube channel. I just have no idea what we could be doing.
You get notifications if they.
I do get notifications if we comment. Yeah. So you were talking. David was talking to some dude in fucking a different language
Russian.
last week. Yeah.
He was cool, dude.
I'm not shitting on you. I'm just asking.
Real quick though, CJ.
No, break it down for me.
Depending on how long this goes, do you think I could ask my question?
What is your question?
Remember we had this discussion.
Oh yeah, no, say that for next. This is like already way too long. We're already gonna add it out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've been talking too much. I will leave the call.
No, you don't have to do that.
I'm gonna leave the call.
I'm not saying anything like that.
Going
I'm
to
saying
leave.
all that. All right, just this question comes from Kind of Funny Games Daily. It says, "Hey Greg and Andrew, we are neither one of those people. I don't know if you saw, but on Friday, IGN promoted their early access but not final review of Radical Heights, which they gave a 5 out of 10. Cliffy B then responded with the Mad Max That's Bait gif. Now, multiple people are criticizing IGN for reviewing an unfinished game. Dan Stapleton, IGN's reviews editor, replied to people saying that if the game can be played by anyone, it deserves criticism. What are your stances on this? Should early access games be reviewed by major outlets? From The Silent Gamer. So thank you, The Silent Gamer, for writing into a different podcast. You have no idea who we are. No idea. We're answering your question right now. But what do you
Listen
guys...
up, Silent Gamer. I got a hot fucking take.
David ain't being fucking silent anymore.
It's very reasonable. Games that are able to be purchased and played absolutely need to be reviewed, not 100%. Only because they are being presented as products that you can play and pay real money for, but because consumers need to be informed of their purchases, and I think it is the journalist's duty to give as an objective critique as they can of upcoming titles, because that's their job. And you know, I think objective is objective is you know what I mean. Subjective
is like
their takes, their opinions. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, absolutely. If a game is in early access, it should be able to be reviewed. Now, is that something that we're going to see every site doing, like every little early access game that comes to Steam? No, absolutely not. But big games like Radical Heights, big games like PUBG in its early access state, things that get a lot of press, things that might as well be released and are getting huge followings. Yeah, put out a review and just say, this is an early access review. Give the date of your review so you know what version it's on if you're looking back on it. And then review it again when it releases. It's like the standard now. That's just how games release. And it's not all games, but hashtag not all games. But it's how developers can now use community feedback to make their games better. And I think that's fine. But I think that as a person who might or might not be buying a really popular game, you have the right to know what people think of it, whether that be Steam, and you can go and look through Steam user reviews too for that kind of thing. But you know, it's good
I've
to see
always
IGN
found
or somebody.
the anti-SJW Steam user reviews to be a very helpful purchasing decision.
I
don't know. I was just
not...
bringing out. Did you see the BattleTech stuff? It's this like
which one?
BattleTech. It's this mech.
Oh, there's like
there's
people got mad about that.
There's pronoun options in the game. And
no.
Just like next level
Disgusting.
fucking shit. And
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's
I was looking at I found the most helpful review of my life today. I didn't buy, but I've been playing Quake on Steam, and I found a review that pointed me to a very nice mod that has the original Trent Reznor soundtrack. He did the soundtrack for the game. Did not know that. But anyways, yeah, sometimes Steam reviews can be helpful. Sometimes they're just most of the time they're garbage.
Most of the time they suck.
Which is why you want to see an IGN or a GameSpot or whoever reviewing big games.
Whatever kind of outlet you
like,
fancy.
whatever YouTubers. I personally prefer ACG. I think he's great. But yeah, it's good. It's good press to have your game reviewed, good or bad. But yeah, absolutely, you're charging money for the fucking product. It is out in the market. It can be reviewed. Sorry, Cliff.
Well, let me
fuck
clarify.
off.
Let me clarify. Radical Heights, free.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
I haven't looked into
it's
this.
free.
Radical Heights. Is
Fights, $20 indie title on Itch.io.
not untrue. I mean, Radical Fights. Radical Heights itself free, but microtransactions, right?
Yeah, you can buy skins and stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing with
And
Fortnite.
so there's this crazy thing that's been going on for a long time called previews and reviews, right? So if your game were early access or your game were given to develop or like to review sites or games news websites such as IGN, and you wanted a preview written about your game where everybody could play it, fine. But like you said, David, if your game is able to be played by every single person,
It's in the wild.
and you're charging money for microtransactions, your game definitely deserves to be reviewed. I mean, and they were nice enough to say that it's, an early access review. So that's nice of them to do that, saying, hey, this is what might change. They reviewed Fortnite, I think 2 or 3 times before they gave it a final score. And Fortnite's still,
And it's still in early access.
Yeah, but like they gave it a final score. I think it's like a 9.5. But like,
Great score. Great score.
Like you said, it's a great score.
They gave it a 9.5. You said?
I don't know if that's actually true or not. I believe you.
I think
but
I think
don't
it
know.
is.
Probably.
It's higher than PUBG, so whatever PUBG got, it's a point.
It all checks out.
Whatever higher than that.
checks out.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry.
but like you said, any news is good news. Bad or good. Like you get the press. Like
I think it's in a lot of cases that's true. In all indie games, just point blank, that's probably true. Not like if Sea of Thieves comes out and gets shit on, that's probably not great for them. I'll be honest.
Probably
But
not.
Radical Heights, I think, for example, is the game where honestly they probably made like way more attention from Ninja playing the game than the IGN reviewing it. But like still, their review helps in some ways. But the I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with this at all. I think it's exactly the same. If it didn't have the tag early access on it, it would be the same as people doing like reviews in progress for like Destiny or like Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
Like when Rainbow Six Siege came out, that game is completely different than it is now. Or when the first like vanilla Destiny came out, by the time the Taken King had come out, and no one has any qualms with that. So like people like early access is the same thing. You're just putting a fucking little banner on it that like makes it like stand out and gets put in a separate section of the Steam store. Like it's exactly the same. I feel like as releasing a full game.
with when so many games now are just being constantly updated over years and years. Like it makes sense to go back and like review it as like really big changes happen.
Yeah.
And I don't see a huge difference between it being early access or like just having a brand new patch that like completely changes
Monster
the game.
Hunter launched feature complete with a bunch of stuff. In 2 years, if Monster Hunter has double the amount of monsters, like that's a different game. Like not like
it's just another version of games as services.
Yeah.
And people, it's funny because in the IGN comment section, everybody's like, it's in alpha. They'll fix it. It could be different in a year. And I'm like, yeah, you could say the same thing about The Division, Destiny, Monster Hunter. And those
they
games
can change
get
their
reviewed.
review. Like
You can re-review things, and it's very explicitly called an early access review. It's completely reasonable, and it's not. It shouldn't be like a new standard of like everything in early access needs to be reviewed. But at the editor's discretion and at the site's discretion, if they want to review something in early access,
especially if something has a buzz around it and like people are
yeah, exactly. It's good press.
Like something this big that people want to know about, like you should definitely be writing about it, and people should be able to learn about it.
Yep. Silent Gamer, thanks for your awesome question. I think we're all in unanimous agreement.
Didn't send it into us, but thank you very much.
But you know what? It was a very good question, and it was a good discussion. So thank you.
Yes, that brings us to the next segment, where Drew reads out the games of the week.
Oops.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of games coming out next week that I thought were notable. In saying so.
Notable.
Notable.
Go ahead, Drew.
So there's Super Mega Baseball 2. Now you might say to yourself, that sounds like a dumbass fucking name. Game means absolutely
You're
nothing.
not
But let
holding
me
back.
tell you what, Let me tell you what. After
Fists
490
out.
reviews on Steam, which I mean isn't a lot, but it's a pretty good amount.
Yes. Chunk.
9 out of 10. Has a 9 out of 10.
Damn.
It's a goofy baseball game, and so I've looked into Super Mega Baseball 2, focusing a little bit more on realism. It's going to be on PS4 and Xbox.
See, I already don't like
Drew with
that.
the deep
Potentially-
cuts.
Might potentially come to Switch. I don't know. I didn't read anything about that, but as most things do, they try and get on Switch.
Throwing switchboards
Oh, no,
out
this-
there.
Super Mega Baseball was actually kind of a little bit of a cult hit when it came out. This looks totally different, but it's the same.
That's what I'm
Devs,
saying.
I
So the game sounds generic as hell, but
I know
The
this
game
game.
is-
I've heard of this.
I've heard
IP.
of this as well. That's why I put it on here. I think that this is a notable title. And then also we got the port Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. Everybody's excited to
Wait,
play
that comes
as
out
Funky
this
Kong.
week.
You know what I'm saying?
The fourth.
Everybody's excited to play as Funky Kong.
Does that come out this
Remember
week?
when
On
I
Friday.
bought
It
that
does.
for you on Wii U and you didn't play it, and now we have a
Oh,
better
shit.
console. And I
So I
spent
just-
$40
Hey, you know
for
what?
nothing.
I've
I just
bought
wanna-
you 2 games that you haven't played. So.
You're not wrong.
I just want to let you know, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and Super Mega Baseball are coming out
The
next
5th.
month, May 1st. and
Next
May
month?
4th.
I mean,
Next
It is
This
next
week?
Yes.
The fuck?
It's still next month,
But technically
motherfucker.
it
It's
is
still
next
next month.
This comes.
On Monday, it is the 30th.
I guess, yeah, my bad. Good call.
He's
good
not
call.
wrong.
Good shout,
Still
good
next
shout,
month.
good
Come
shout.
at me.
Good
You got
shout.
more to say?
Good shout.
I'm excited to play Donkey Dong.
yeah.
Dude,
I
I'm
bet
excited to play some fucking backyard baseball, dude. They need to
Oh,
bring that
that'd be
fucking
gross.
series back. That was my fucking favorite shit in the world. I love backyard.
Where's where is fucking NBA Street?
They
That
have
was
a game called
way-
NBA Playground. That's not good.
I
Nah,
tell you
it's
what,
not
I
the
got
same.
it. It's not good.
Yeah.
Street was the fucking.
There's the second one's coming out this month, or like.
And NFL Street was
Is it
fucking
really
dope
already?
too.
And yeah, there's a second one coming out. Dude, NFL Street,
my
dude, oh my god, that game was so much.
That was
fun.
my
The Street
shit.
games were so much fun. They had cool
NBA
soundtracks.
Street Volume 3, where you could play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and a
Dude,
few
where's
characters.
Mario Strikers
Yeah, this is-
reboot?
Where
You
is
get Mario
Strikers?
Aces.
God damn.
Got the soccer jersey on.
Where's
Where's Mario Strikers?
insert game?
Anyway, that's what's coming out this week. That brings us to the next segment of the show, where we do a monthly predict the Metacritic score of all the games coming out in May. One of these games is coming out in June, but it's coming out like June 3rd. So like I didn't want to like the reviews might come out in May, or like you know how it works. Anyway, so we got 5 games coming out next month that we thought we'd predict the Metacritic score for. So to start it off, it's Pillars of Eternity 2. This is the sequel to the CRPG, right? From
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
looked into this further.
All right, I guess you did.
I think you're right.
Bloodborne?
Deadfire might be just like almost like a complete edition.
No, it's not. It's a sequel.
But okay, so it's Pillars of Eternity 2. Deadfire is the title.
Yeah.
That is
Stop.
the
Alright.
that is the sequel.
Okay.
Pillars of Eternity
Okay.
2,
Go
Deadfire.
ahead.
This is
wait,
just
who won-
Bloodborne.
Huh?
He's looking at.
I looked at Vampire. It's just fucking Bloodborne.
Oh, the
I had not seen it
We're
before.
not there yet.
Yeah, it's yeah. All right. Anyway,
But edgier somehow.
all right. Who wants to start?
Sorry.
Who wants to start off? Drew, you want to start?
I'll
let you
start.
Okay,
No, I'll
Dave
start
will
with Pillars.
All right, you
I'm
go.
confident.
Go ahead.
Well, 1 second. Let me just really quick check what the first game got.
All right,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
good. No,
I should-
that's not a
Go,
point.
Drew.
We weren't supposed to do
Should've-
this. It's getting an 85. Cheyenne, pick a score.
80.
80. David, pick a score.
Oh no 80.
Oh shit, I'm writing them in the wrong thing. Fuck, my bad, Drew.
Yeah, 87.
Get outta here.
87. God damn, dude. You fucking.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You did just look up the Pillars
David,
of
what do you think
Eternity
of Pillars of
reviews, and they're pretty good.
I think it's gonna get a.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get a 90. A 90.
Ooh.
90.
Flat 90.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop
Obsidian
into-
knows their shit, dude.
I'm gonna hit the 89. Also notable on this game, not coming out later this year. It is going to be on Switch.
What?
What, really?
Pillars of Eternity 2.
Is it
this gonna
really?
yeah, this is gonna be on Switch. They announced it
What?
already, but it's coming out later this year. But this
The
is
first
gonna
game
be on
didn't even
Switch.
have a console release, did it? I think it did
Are
actually.
you sure?
I'm just saying, this Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Switch.
Wow, that's cool.
Come at
Oh
me.
wow.
I know
That's-
my I know,
blind-
I know my Nintendo Switch.
Eurogamer.net. Blimey. Pillars
true.
of Eternity 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Blind.
That's some
Blimey.
fucking Eurogamer shit right there.
No, that is zero gamer.
State of Decay 2, Cheyenne. Where's that one going? And
Uh,
quit looking up those old
that-
scores, David.
Is
not.
that good or
You
bad?
bastards.
I don't know.
I think
this
people like
game.
it. I know that like Greg Miller likes that game, the first one.
79.
79.
79, okay.
David, what do you got?
A 77.
He likes every game, so
77.
CJ?
can't trust
Why
him.
do I have to go? You were gonna go. We're doing it in a line, Drew.
I'm typing these, motherfucker. You talk.
Oh my god. Let's go 81.
81.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see what the first one got now.
And ever since Sea of Thieves, I'm not confident in Microsoft's ability to put out decent games.
Oh,
So
is
I'm gonna go with
Microsoft?
75.
75.
Nah, yeah, fuck
Alright,
'em.
fair enough.
this is
David,
an
you're or
Xbox One
Drew.
exclusive,
You can
so-
start with this one. Detroit Become Human.
You played the demo. You have the advantage.
He does.
87.
87. Damn.
David? See what Heavy Rain got.
80.
Get back to me.
Flat 80.
80.
Flat 80.
Cheyenne?
82.
82. I'm gonna go low on this one. I'm gonna say 70. I think this is gonna be a
I think it's gonna be
I was
worse
gonna
than
say
Beyond
80,
Two
but,
Souls.
yeah.
I think it's gonna. I think they like Beyond Two Souls did not do well critically, and like
No,
It
it's
did
not.
not. But it is
It's
free on
not.
PS Plus this month.
it is
so-
free on
Game
PS
was
Plus. We didn't talk about
trash.
that. All right, David, Tennis World Tour. Where's that?
God
going?
damn it! Why is this even on here?
There wasn't a lot of games
CJ's
in
a
May.
big fan of tennis, man.
And at the time we had 5 people on the panel, so I was trying to get one for each person to go first, and like that fucked that up.
74.
74 on Tennis World Tour. It actually, this
No
game
idea.
does look cool if you're into tennis games. It's like for the people that made
Wow.
Topspin.
I'm here for
But,
Mario
oops.
Tennis.
I am Mario Aces is what it's called.
Asses. Mario Tennis asses.
Cheyenne, what are you giving it?
72.
Dang.
Jesus Christ! Topspin did incredibly.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with an 82 ish.
Fuck! I got an 89.
Nah, it's gonna
said
be bad.
82.
82. Okay. All right. I just had
Ham
to-
development, huh?
I will go as far as to say this game will be absolutely groundbreaking for the tennis genre of game. I'm going to give it an
Tennis genre.
86.
86.
Whoa.
Wow.
6.
And the last game is from Don't Nod. They're the creators of Life is Strange, Vampire.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They made an action RPG.
I thought this was... This is by them? I thought this was by the people that made...
This is an action RPG, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called Vampire.
But you could... suck
They
Man,
made
I love
Remember Me
Vampire.
too, if you don't remember that.
I love their art though.
That game.
Oh, they made Remember Me too.
That
Okay.
makes a lot of sense.
Nobody remembered that.
I'm
game.
gonna say that's gonna get let's go with the 85. No, I'm gonna go higher, 88.
I sure hope so.
Okay.
This game looks kind of cool.
David, I guess. My bad.
Oh, sorry. His teeth. I'll say 82 on this one.
Cool. Cheyenne.
It looks promising.
I'll just go 80.
Flat 80.
What did David
Boring.
say?
82.
82.
82.
82, okay. And then I
Stop
think this
banging
game
on
is going to be absolute garbage. I'm going to give it a 77.
God damn, dude.
Absolute garbage. 77. Drew Shuffling.
All right, quote it. All right, and then here are all of Aaron's picks right here. All right, cool.
All right.
They text
cool.
you?
No,
I
I'm putting it in
I had
later.
the same
Jesus
reaction.
Christ.
He's gonna put them in later.
Hey, man. You edit these videos? I had no
This game
idea.
looks kind of cool. This game looks like a really good PS2 game. Vampire.
A really good PS.
Like, I'm not trying to be a
That
dick.
doesn't
I'm
bode well
not. It
for
looks like a really unique game that would have come out on the PS2, and we're seeing like more of that. So I like.
Hey,
that.
man.
That's how Prey made me feel too.
Then the last segment of our show is where we talk about what we have been playing. We all been playing God of War. Drew hasn't, but Drew's been playing something else. But we've all been playing God of War. We're gonna do a full God of War spoiler cast next week. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, Drew, you've been playing a game called Lightfall.
Yep. I thought, no joke, like the audio cuts out and shit, and I can't. And I thought you said.
Yep.
And in the meantime, I've been playing a game called Lightfall. I was like, I assume he's talking to me.
I was late.
Okay, so, all right. Here's where I come down on it. This game was featured in a Nintendo Direct, so I want to play all of the Nintendo
So you
Direct
had to buy
featured
it.
games, right?
Gotcha.
So I would assume that Nintendo's promoting this game because it should be good, and I don't think that Lightfall is necessarily bad, and I think that using the Shadow Core, which is what the term used
Box
for the
for
box
me
is.
thing.
Yeah, the boxes, and there's a couple different things you could do with it and ways you could throw it, but I beat it in, honestly, no joke, I got to the last boss in 2 hours. Okay.
Jesus.
I am on the last boss, and I have been playing it for a little over 48 hours, or a little less than 48 hours now. Okay, because it just came out yesterday as the day of recording this.
Not straight. You've
I was
had
gonna
it. For,
say.
You've had it for 48 hours.
I've had it. Yeah, okay. I've had it for almost.
Okay,
48
just
hours,
making sure
but
you
I've
weren't
been
stuck
playing-
on the boss
I've been
for
playing
46
like
hours.
6 or 8. I'm stuck on the last boss because where this game says it's geared towards speedrunners and going fast and all this stuff, you know, whatever, Sonic, blah, blah. The last boss is slow as fuck. And it throws
Really?
me off because this whole time I've been running through these levels, you know, trying to complete them as fast as possible and in doing, you know, your platforming stuff. And this last boss, like, literally can just stand there and just take whatever's happening. But the issue lies in that, and maybe I'm just like so frustrated. You know, you get to a point where you're frustrated with the game.
You
And,
get
like,
tilted.
You get tilted and you can't do it, and like you just
Yeah.
keep doing it because you're like this seems easy. I should be able to do it. Okay, I fought this boss for 2 hours, and right before this podcast, I was fighting him, and 2 times I made it to like I don't know, say like the 4th stage of his fight, and he did 2 moves I've never seen in 2 hours of fighting him.
Jesus.
What the fuck, right? So
That is awful.
I think the game is good, but I wouldn't say it's like spectacular. I don't.
I've heard a lot about that final boss. I was looking at some critic reviews this morning, and they were all like, the end of the game almost ruins the whole game. I
Yeah,
was
the
like,
end of the
Jesus
game
Christ.
sucks. Like it takes away immensely from like how I felt about the game before, like how fast
That
everything
sucks.
was, and just how slow the boss fight is, and like maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I was. Like and the fucking you pulled 2 new moves that I've never seen before out. Like that just really sucks for me. You know, like I'm not playing Dark Souls. I'm not playing anything like that. Like I'm decent at platformers. I think I can say that. I think I'm fairly good at platformers. Like this boss fight shouldn't be a problem to me. But when I'm so used to going fast and it's so slow at the end, it kind of is like sucks. Because like Celeste did a really good job of doing quote unquote boss fights where they were chasing you and you had to traverse the level fast anyways. But this is like literally I'm standing in the middle and I'm waiting for him to do something. So I don't know. It's not as good as I thought it would be, but I guess in terms of all the other garbage that kind of rolls out on the Nintendo Switch, it is one maybe worth checking out.
The thing that reminds me of is like games that have like just weird out of character boss fights at the end of games where like the game spends I don't know like this game's 2 hours but games spend like 10-20 hours getting like familiarizing you with these mechanics and like learning all these new stuff, and then the last boss fight is just completely throws all that shit out the window to make
Uncharted
it like this
1 did that
epic thing.
exact
Uncharted 1 did that. I love this game, but Batman Arkham Asylum is that's literally what that game is like literally at the end of the game, instead of fighting the Joker takes like a bunch of steroids and becomes a fucking like hulked out monster, and like you have to do like this QTE fest. And I'm just like, bro, this is not like at all like what the fucking game has been about up until this point. You've given me all these cool gadgets and like all this cool mechanics that I've been playing with and like familiarizing myself with, and then I just fucking it just gets torn apart. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. Games just generally have a problem, I think, ending. A lot of games where like at the end of a game, it's just like, oh, now you go down this corridor and here's all the enemies you've faced throughout the whole game all together at once. Yeah, like The Last of Us even has that problem, I think.
I'm so excited to talk about God of War.
I
haven't finished God of War.
Like,
I know. I'm just
with
excited.
platformers that I hold in high regards, they've done it really, really
Dude,
well.
Celeste does it perfect. Yeah.
So good.
Does it so well. And
The
like,
boss was awesome.
Even though it came out so long ago, like Super Meat Boy does a really good job at like making you fight bosses at the end of level 2, except for I think like chapter 5. I think most of the bosses there are good at traversing the landscape and making it through the level, which is how I think platformers should handle bosses. It shouldn't be like me stand here, see what you're gonna do, and react to that. It should be me having to fucking
platform my way
through a level. Yeah, in a platformer, that just makes so much sense. So like it totally lost me here at the end. I'm still gonna try and beat it, but it's really just lost me at this point because like I'm like, why are you promoting a speedrunning platforming game and then like such a slow fucking boss at the end? That's my opinion on it.
And it sucks that you go like it's not like that happened in the first like 10 minutes of the game. It's like that's the last thing that like leaves that's the taste you leave with.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, true.
Anyway, this has been the Current Gaming Podcast, episode 51. My name's Charles Blaze. You can find me on Twitter at Charles to the. Find me on Instagram at Charles to the. I've been reviewing stuff. It's fun.
So
I gotta agree.
You didn't like Isle of Dogs that much.
I didn't. It was fine. I liked it.
Reviewing stuff.
I liked it. I have problems with it.
I was like so high. I love that movie.
Dude. I was. It's probably not. It's probably like maybe top 5 movies for me this year, but
it's like my favorite Wes Anderson.
What Isle of Dogs?
I would not even remotely go that far. I think it might be my least favorite Wes Anderson film. and
That's my
I like
favorite.
him a lot.
Have you seen the Darjeeling Limited?
I guess I haven't seen all of his movies. I've seen
You haven't seen some of the really boring...
I've seen all the good ones. Like, so what is it? Life
Yeah.
Aquatic. I've seen Fantastic Mr. Fox. I've seen what's the not Lobby Boy? Jesus Christ.
Grand Budapest.
Grand Budapest.
I mean,
I've
that
seen.
wouldn't be a bad title.
What's the other one that I'm missing? That's like fucking huge.
Moonrise Kingdom?
I haven't seen that actually. That's the Ed Norton one where he's
That's
like
a
a
shit.
fucking
It's on
you
Netflix.
got
Cub
it.
Scout, right?
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's one more that like is like I'm missing. I'm leaving off that.
I mean, there's quite a few.
Like there's one like dramatic one. Oh, Royal Tenenbaums.
Shit, that's
That,
what
Yeah.
that's the other one I've seen.
Okay.
But yeah, and I don't know. This is Charlie reviews movies that he saw. And dude, I went to a theater by myself for the first time. Have you experienced
Wow.
that
For
in
the
your
first
life?
time.
No, I haven't.
What does that even mean?
Have you ever been to the theater just alone?
No.
All right, that's what I'm saying. So why the fuck? Why are you asking what first time means?
Is someone paying you to go to these movies?
No, I have movie pass.
Then
though.
don't go to the
Movie pass.
fucking movie by yourself.
Shane,
Your fucking girlfriend, take her.
She didn't want to go.
I went to a concert alone.
That's weird.
That
How
was
was
that was even a little bit scary, but also
This
kind of
Cheyenne?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
She went to a concert.
Tell me about that
It
experience.
was
We got
like
time.
it was a beach house concert. It wasn't like
It was a Beyonce
you
She
concert?
didn't go
Is that
see
what you
fucking.
beach house.
Oh, beach
no.
house.
I thought I was gonna say.
I don't have
Beyonce.
money for Beyonce.
I didn't. I was about to
tickets.
say, yeah. So you were
David,
just
do you
in the
not
you were
like
just
Beach House?
no. I
I
love,
do. I just wasn't. I'm not big
He
on
doesn't
concerts.
like concerts.
I don't like concerts
I'm
either.
actually not big on concerts either. So
I
we've
don't
had
like
this discussion.
standing for more than like an hour.
It's
so.
just annoying.
I don't
and then
mind
you
that,
just listen to the
dude.
music
Just
and-
like the way a concert is. A concert's not enjoyable if you're not in the first like 10 rows. That's point blank. Period. True. I think
Or,
First
or
row?
unless
First
or
10
unless you're
rows.
sitting.
10 rows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've been sitting in the back, and I think it sounds better.
I don't like and in order to sit in the first 10 rows or stand in the first
You
10
have to
rows,
wait for
you have
like
to be
3
there
hours.
for
Yeah,
I
you have
kid
to
you
be
not like
standing
4
there for,
hours.
like-
Like what the fuck? I
Yes.
don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't either.
I
Yeah,
like
that's a
smaller
waste of
concerts
time.
now. Like I go see really local bands, and that's fun because
The Neon Indian was great. It wasn't like super
Yeah.
small, but it was
No,
like
that was the right size. You go see like you were seeing like fucking Odd Future that time. Like of course.
Well,
you're
no,
gonna
but like
right.
every concert I've been to is like that. Like I saw
Yeah.
like
I mean, I guess.
Like,
I
when we
think
saw
about the
Youth
most
Lagoon, it was
enjoyable
like that.
Concert I went to.
It wasn't that bad for Youth Lagoon.
it was,
Was,
and then I had to
Bobby
sit through this fucking terrible opening act I don't fucking care about. And then, like, in between them, I gotta hear this, like, terrible, choppy playlist of fucking
Magical Clouds
songs I don't care about. Oh, it's just not enjoyable.
I'm not big on concerts. The best concert I ever saw was Mac DeMarco, though. That was awesome.
That's an underrated thing, is that concerts suck.
Yeah.
I've never been to a high-budget concert, though. Like, where it's in a stadium or something like
The
that.
stadium.
Yeah.
I saw Queens of the Stone Age in a stadium. It was much more relaxed.
Charles, I just want to say, you fucked this on Kanye.
I mean,
Okay.
I didn't, to be fair. He didn't come to... He canceled the tour.
Ignoring the fact that he canceled that part of his tour, which we didn't know at the time, you fucked this on Kanye.
I mean, but
Well,
looking back, it's
it
good.
doesn't matter now.
Good we didn't go. Cheyenne, where can everybody find you on?
I
socials?
am on Twitter at poopflowers.
Cool. Drew, where can everybody find you?
On Twitter at Trophy Pops.
I don't think he heard me. I just think he like noticed that we
He
weren't
knew
talking.
when
I was
say
actually, I was reading your lips.
Oh
so-
damn!
You can find Drew in the fucking bathroom here in about an hour.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about, man? I got burgers on the way. I'm cool. I'm set.
chilling,
I'm actually
dude.
gonna have
Man,
another
have a
one
good
when this is
time.
over. You wanna play Fortnite? Let's go. I'm ready.
Hell yeah. man.
Dude, fucking Bobby in the chat. He was like, "You guys want to play Footnotes?" Which is gold. David, where can everybody find you?
My guy Dave on Twitter.
Cool. This has been the Shit Show podcast, episode 51 of the Current Gaming Podcast, and peace.